Okay, so the first shiny we're going to go after is Charcadet. The difference between Charcadet when it comes to looking for the shiny form is that the shiny Charcadet will have blue eyes. It's not as hard as you might think to see, but there is an area we can go to where we can spawn a lot of them. So over here on the map, we've got the West Province Area 1. If you just fly to this Pokemon Center here, you'll be in the prime spot to start farming Charcadet. Now, the best thing to do to farm the Charcadet is to use a shiny level 3 sandwich. Now, there's a lot of different recipes for this sandwich. The sandwich I use is going to be up on the screen. So once you have this sandwich, that's when all of the Charcadet will start spawning in this area. So I'm going to quickly use my sandwich just so I can show where to go and how it works. So give me one sec. Okay, so my sandwich is all done. So as you can see, the Charcadets are starting to spawn. The best way to do this in this area is you can come along here. Just again, keep an eye out for their eyes because that's the only thing that's going to change. So you come along this mountain, a lot of spawn, and then you can kind of double back, go up the other mountain, and then once you're done with this spot, you can jump down back here, and then you'll have all these spawns again. Look. And then you can kind of like loop down here. So coming down this way, there's going to be a lot. Just make sure you keep an eye on kind of every spawn. Go as slow as possible so that they can spawn in to like this tree here, and then at the tree you can kind of like loop around and kind of do the whole thing again. So you can keep riding around here. I mean, you could keep riding around in just this one big area because there's a lot that spawn here too. But yeah, you get half an hour on your sandwich. If you want to check your sandwich, just hit right on the D-pad, tell you how much you got left. Generally, I've had the Pokemon just appear in the first half hour, but sometimes it can take a little bit longer. It might take 2 sandwiches. But the really good thing is if you save before you use your sandwich, you can just constantly refresh it. So you're only really using 2 Mystic Herbs, never more. So yeah, this is a good spot. Another thing you can do with Charcadet is to move up here. And there's a neat little trick you can do so you can always look at their eyes. I'll just quickly duck over to there. Okay, so over here near where this Jolteon is, if you stand here and kind of make a picnic, what will happen is it will refresh everything. So just go into picnic and then hop straight out, and they will all start spawning from one point. So if you go into your camera and then go to fisheye lens, you can kind of like always see their eyes. So like they're going to just keep spawning from that one little point. It's a very easy way to see the eyes of the Charcadet. I think you get about 12 per spawn. So you can sit here, look at them, and then quickly refresh if that's what you want to do. Obviously, if you have the shiny charm, this will be a little bit faster, make your odds go a bit better. I know a lot of people have done this particular strat and got the Charcadet. Some people have done the run around strat that I showed before. Either work. This one's really simple though if you're just wanting to kind of chill and just stare at eyes for a good half hour. So next on the list we have shiny Dratini. Pretty much the easiest spot to go to is this little lake here. It's just above North Province Area 2, so it's on the right hand side of the map. When you come here, just come to this little watchtower, set up your sandwich. Ingredients will be on the screen, and then all you do is kind of jump into the lake here and just swim around. So in this area, they will spawn only in the water, so you just swim around. Pink is really easy to see. You may have a little bit of issues when it's like dawn, because sometimes all of them have a pinkish hue. But yeah, you can just swim around in this area. I know a lot of people have found tons of Dratinis here. I personally found my Dratini here as well. And then if you get your shiny Dratini very early, you can just go up on the land and you can start catching Altaria. Dreepies are here as well. Or there is a few spots you can fly to go get like Haxorus or Bagon. So the Dragon one is very versatile in how quickly you can get them. So yeah, what I like to do is just do laps around the pool, and you'll see that they're constantly spawning in. Don't boost. Boosting will make it so that they don't spawn as fast. But this has been pretty much the easiest spot to go to catch shiny Dratini, at least that I've found. Okay, so next on the list we have shiny Slowpoke or shiny Slowbro. Slowbro is the easiest shiny to spot as it is just a very dark purple, whereas shiny Slowpoke is a little bit harder to spot because it's more a diluted pink. So with this strat, basically what I like to do is come to this little area here. So you go to Casadoria Lake, either this flight path or this flight path, and you come to this very edge, and you can kind of run around this mountain circle, and they will just keep spawning. Otherwise, you can just run along this entire section here, and they will spawn pretty much all over this area. So for this, the sandwich ingredients is going to be up at the top, and I will quickly make that sandwich and actually showcase the route for you. All right, so once your sandwich is done, like I said, they'll just start spawning around here. So I just do the lap around the mountain. Because it is hard to tell, if you're confused if a Slowpoke is shiny or not, just send your Pokemon out, and if it doesn't actually knock it out, then it's shiny and you can go ahead and catch it. Also, just remember that if you do knock out 60 of each Pokemon, it is meant to increase your shiny chances as well. So you got this little area, and if you don't want to do that, like I said, you can just drive along. The entire area will start spawning them, so you got some more here. So if you kind of just want to keep spawning them and not worry about running around in circles, this is a really good way to do it. Just drive along this path. Again, make sure to go as slow as possible so they can actually spawn in. What I might suggest doing is actually coming from the top over here, driving the length of the island, loop around the mountaintop, and then come back. That's probably the best way to do the route if you don't want to just do loops. Otherwise, just doing loops around that mountain is kind of how I found my Slowpoke when I did it the first time. So the next location we're going to go is the little beach where we first met Koraidon or Miraidon. What we're going to do here is quickly use a flying sandwich, and what we're after is Wingull. So Wingull, or Pelliper more importantly, is really good for this raid in the fact that it will resist a lot of the damage and it puts up drizzle. So yeah, you just pop here, come here, pop up a flying sandwich. Ingredients are up the top, and they should start spawning here. So let me just quickly set my sandwich up and we'll be good to go. There, once you've done your sandwich, you should notice that a whole bunch of Wingull are now popping up. The difference between Wingull Shiny and Wingull Normal is instead of blue on the wing, Shiny will have green. So it's not the easiest thing to spot, but it's not terrible. So yeah, this one's probably not the easiest one compared to the other because they are flying. So you may find that you need to come out onto the water a bit to kind of have a look at the wings because they're up in the air. And then if you do find it, you'll have to throw your Pokeball at them with like the aim and toss, because otherwise it's normally harder to hit them. So yeah, this is a good spot for Wingull. There's also another spot you can go to which has a lot of Pelliper spawning, kind of in the same deal. So I'll quickly show you that one as well. Same deal. It's only got like little green tips to be different. But this is another good spot to go if you're kind of not wanting to hunt Wingull or if you're going for a shiny dex. So we're just going to this little island over here. So yeah, as you can see in the distance, we've got the rock we're going to land on. Once we land on the top of this rock, the Pelliper will start spawning kind of near the bottom. So yeah, just like Pelliper, it's also going to spawn Kilowattrels like crazy. Kilowattrel could still be good for the raid as well. It's probably not one of the best picks, but I mean, it's definitely got some resistances because it is flying. So yeah, this is an area if you kind of want Kilowattrel or Pelliper. Personally, I'd probably just stick to the Wingull area because all you're basically spawning is Wingull, so it makes things a little bit easier. Now, another good water flying Pokemon you can use for this raid is going to be Gyarados. So you can use the same flying sandwich we use for Wingull and Pelliper, fly over to Castle Royale Lake, and then head over here to the northwest. And then kind of in this rock pit, you'll see that a bunch of Gyarados are going to spawn here. Good thing about Gyarados is its shiny form is red, so it's really easy to spot, especially amongst the blue. But yeah, just swim around here, they'll keep spawning. You can just kind of do a loop around the rock, and that will despawn and respawn them. You can also find some random Pellipers here as well, but mainly you're here for Gyarados. Very good spot, and also Gyarados is just a good shiny Pokemon to have in general. So yeah, that's all the shiny locations for the kind of like the top 5 Pokemon that have been suggested by various YouTubers for this particular raid. I personally will be using Dragonite or Slowbro. You can also find an Azumarill and bring that along. I'm just not recommending it at the moment just because the bug still appears to be there. So it's going to be a little bit harder to kind of take it down with Azumarill. Still possible, but yeah, the bug makes things a little bit more annoying. But yeah, my plans going forward is every time they have one of these 7-star raids, I'll kind of do a YouTube video where I will suggest which Pokemon I kind of want to use for the raids and what I think will be good. And then after I go through and kind of look at everyone's versions of that, I'll kind of make these videos for like the top 5 shiny locations. If that's something you're interested in, please let me know by leaving a like down below. And whilst you're liking the content, you can also leave a comment as to what your favorite shiny Pokemon is. For me personally, it's kind of all the black ones. I really love Haxorus. That's probably one of the best. And Metagross, which obviously I can't get in this game, but I've always really liked that shiny as well. Like always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers!